And happy Thursday, July 6th, 2023, and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions. I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, aka the heartbeat of America, Kurt Cadet, in the flesh as always, and this man needs no introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is his tag team partner, none other than the adventurer himself, Jonathan Randall. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action as always, bringing you that wrestling news you need to hear. And Kurt, how you been? How was your 4th of July?
My 4th of July was very uneventful because I wanted to go out after work to the pool and chill, have a couple drinks, but then it started raining just out of nowhere. Like,
Oh,
it was nice throughout most of the day, but then right when I got off work and I got home, it just got really ugly outside and it did not get any better.
oh, damn! It rained that day, man.
Yeah, it rained that whole night. Yeah, that whole night. My electricity went out 3 times actually.
You no, are you serious?
It was only brief. Like when it went out, it was only for like a few seconds, but still, like yeah, that happened multiple
That's
times.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, bro. It got ugly real fast. Like 1 hour, it was nice outside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the pool, have a nice time. Then all of a sudden, it just got dark as fuck outside, and it was a wrap.
Wow. I'm sorry, man, but I hate to brag, but I had a 5 day weekend. Um, Me and my girl are in our new place. Well, I haven't like moved. Well, she moved into her place though, but I haven't really moved in with her yet. Got a, but the place is nice and had a lot of cleaning up to do though. But I'm excited for this opportunity though.
Good shit, man. I'm happy for you guys. That's what's up. I saw you were going out and about during 4th of July weekend. Also, looked like you were having a blast.
It was chill. I'll just with her family and just went
Man,
out to
just
eat and
chill.
just scrolled through downtown a little bit. So it was cool.
Yeah, I miss downtown Vegas. I used to love just going to those little bars they had outside, getting like a tequila pineapple, like a big ass tall one. After two or three of those, I'd be lit as fuck. I'm not gonna
But I tell
lie.
you,
The most fun I ever had in downtown Vegas was the St. Patrick's Day in like 2016. That was like actually my first time ever visiting there, and damn, bro, I
holy
had a
crap!
great time. Yeah, it was a
Wow.
good ass night.
That's what's up. But I tell you what was lit, and that was Money in the Bank.
I got money in the bank. Shawty, what you drank? I got money in the bank. Shawty, what you think? Yeah, Money in the Bank was popping, bro. Money. It was definitely an event that lived up to WWE's reputation for putting on good pay per views this year. And yes, what a
England,
fire ass show it turned out to be.
exactly, and England knows how to. They always have the great pay per views. England never disappoints, and I believe this year's Money in the Bank was probably the highest viewed pay per view this year.
It was the highest grossing arena event in
Okay,
WWE history. That's what it
right,
was.
right.
Crazy, man. The highest grossing ever. But yeah, that crowd was lit from start to finish, man. If I couldn't go to WrestleMania this year, the one event I would be bummed about missing is that.
Yeah, and I was lucky for my friend, our average listener, James Kane in England. Yeah, he went, and I'm sure that he had a great time. He sent me some well, a couple of videos here and there though, but yeah, like I could tell him and the entire crowd in London had a great time that day.
Yeah, and a lot of shocking shit went down. A lot of unexpected things went down on that show. And we're going to get it started off by talking about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which featured Ricochet, the scumbag fuck Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Oh man,
LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Santos Escobar.
yeah. So great match, great match.
Shit was
Um,
wild, bro.
yeah,
Shit was wild. I could see why that match went on first. Well,
yeah.
for more reasons than one.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the right decision to have your perfect reason to have that match go on first. You know what I mean? But man, I you were right. About the outcome. You really looked like LA Knight had a couple of good opportunities. So super. I really thought he had it at one point, but a lot of good spots in this match though.
I like how the match started when everybody started attacking Logan Paul and all the crowd lost their shit. And then there was that one spot where Logan Paul did like a frog splash on the ladder, and even after he hit the move, they were still chanting, "You still suck, you still suck." I heard he was a part of some crypto scam or something. That's like one of the biggest beefs people have with him these days.
Who, Logan Paul?
Yeah, like he was a part of some crypto scam where like a lot of people like got scammed out of their money, and he swore he was gonna pay them back, and he never did.
What?
Yeah, I was hearing about that shit recently. Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like that's like old, like last year news, man. Because I feel like everybody was doing that crypto thing, and it turned out that it really wasn't like the best thing that everybody was doing. But yeah, man, that does suck to hear that. But kind of crazy how everybody was falling into that stuff over the past couple of years.
Yeah, but just with that aside, he just has that like unlikableness, that
Yeah,
Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid 1 vibe. Yeah, he definitely has that shit.
true, true.
All right, anyway, enough about that. Yeah, but the one spot that like is probably most remembered in this match was the one with Ricochet and Logan Paul where they fall off the ladder, try to and like fall on the top rope, and they try to like fix it as best they can, and they end up like falling like head first and neck first into the tables below. That shit
Damn.
was rough,
I think
bro. That shit was
my
rough.
I tell you what, my favorite spot in that match is when the ladder was flat, like in between one of the other ladders, right? I believe Santos Escobar had Butch. They were both on a ladder, and then Ricochet out of nowhere does like a crazy 450 splash from the he springboarded from the top rope and did a 450 splash on both Santos Escobar and Butch on the ladder. That was a crazy spot. That was like my favorite.
Yeah, it was a good opening match, but ultimately it ended when LA Knight was about to get the briefcase, but he was stopped by Damian Priest, who
Ah,
slammed him from the top of the ladder, and then proceeded to climb up the ladder himself, grab the briefcase, and now Damian Priest is your 2023 men's Money in the Bank.
congratulations to him. I said on Twitter, LA Knight had a couple of opportunities. He was almost there. I literally, I felt it. I know the whole entire crowd felt it. I tell you what, LA Knight, that the pop that he got, even from going into the ring, and then almost grabbing the briefcase. I almost thought he had it, man, but close, but no cigar. But Damian Priest is your men's Money in the Bank winner. Congratulations to him. My hats off to him. You're right, Kurt, about the prediction. It's crazy. I didn't realize this, but Damian Priest is three months older than LA Knight, and then people, were saying, "Oh, you don't want to push LA Knight because he's 40 and all that stuff. It shouldn't matter." And then I found out that Damian Priest is a bit older than LA Knight. Did not know that.
Yeah, I've known that for a while actually, and it would have been nice if LA Knight won. The crowd was definitely behind him, no doubt about it. And I kind of like took away from Damien a little bit as far as like the reaction went. But hey, Damien's a good pick, regardless of how you feel about LA Knight and how much you like him. Damien's been putting in work for a long
Yeah,
time, and him
especially
getting it is not a bad pick at
true,
all.
true, and especially over the past couple of months, especially from after Backlash and moving forward, because his match with Bad Bunny, that's when everybody started to take real notice of him. So you're right. I mean, he has put in work, and that was the right decision to make on a business level.
Yes, and for everybody who's saying that LA Knight is Barry, the company doesn't care what you want, yo, calm the fuck down. It's gonna be fine. The reactions he's getting right now are gonna make a difference. Trust me. I'm not saying he's gonna be the world champion tomorrow, and hell, he doesn't have to be. Even if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, that doesn't make him any less of a star. It's all good. It's all good.
His future's bright. We all know that. So that's all that matters.
Yes, that is all that matters. But let's move on to our next match as we had for the women's tag team titles. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defending against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. And which Liv Morgan was doing her best tribute to the Spice Girls from her outfit that I saw.
But what I love better was Ronda Rousey's outfit tributing to one of my favorite animes, Dragon Ball Z, of the Vegeta character. She had the M letter on her forehead, referencing to Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. I love that. Some people didn't take notice of it, some did, but I took notice of it and I loved it.
But what I took notice of was how the match ended up as in the middle of the match as Ronda Rousey tags in, Shayna Baszler out of nowhere attacks her from behind,
Yeah,
which I did not see coming and nobody on this earth saw that coming. There's been no
nobody did.
tease of it, no hints of it, nothing. And yeah, that shit just happened out of nowhere. So Shayna Baszler attacks Ronda from behind, chokes her out with the sleeper, and that allows Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan to take advantage of Ronda, hit her with both of their finishers, and then Liv Morgan pins Ronda to get the pin, and Liv Morgan and Raquel regain the women's tag titles.
Crazy, crazy. Look, I'm happy for Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. I said this before. Raquel Rodriguez had a bunch of numerous tag team partners. Liv Morgan is the right one for her. So she has that suitable tag team partner with her. No more flip flopping around, no more jumping around between partners. This is the right person for her. The only thing is that I was not expecting Raquel and Liv Morgan to win the tag titles. I picked Ronda and Shayna Baszler to retain their titles. But what is more shocking is not the fact that they lost, is the fact of what happened. Because I wasn't expecting Shayna Baszler to turn on Ronda Rousey at all. Like you said, Kurt, there was no tease of it. Didn't seem like any cracks in the ceilings prior to this match. So I am shocked to see this.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I liked it though. It was a genuine shocker. It's definitely
Yeah.
something that you wouldn't see coming. And I guess, and from what the stories are coming out about now, is that this is going to be Ronda's like last feud. That she's going to be leaving soon. There's no specific date yet that we know about, but she's probably going to be leaving soon. So this is going
Mm.
to be like her last major feud before she leaves for good.
Well, I hope this feud ends in a good way, ends on a high note for her. So, see what happens.
In our next match, we had Gunther defending the Intercontinental title that he's held for over a year now against Matt Riddle.
Yeah, something that I wanted Matt Riddle to be in this position for. Um, Pretty decent match. I liked it. Just because Gunther just pretty much had majority of the advantages in that match because of his size, but Gunther retains the title by submission and is still your Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, yes, he did. I was kind of surprised with how the match ended, and I was surprised it ended so soon initially.
Only 7 minutes.
Yeah, but it was fine for what it was. But I like that Gunther won with like a different move. But it made sense that the match ended so soon because the real story was what happened after the match. As
Mhm.
Gunther was celebrating his win, he was interrupted by the returning Drew McIntyre,
Yes.
who we have not seen since WrestleMania, and the crowd went apeshit for him. And then he came to the ring, had a face off with Gunther, and proceeded to lay him out with a Claymore kick. And this is setting up more than likely a match for SummerSlam, which I'm down for.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely down for it. Good moment for him. We'll see. It's happy to see Drew McIntyre back, and let's just see how the way things are going to turn out for him, especially with his contract ending about looming on the horizon. We'll see what happens, and hopefully, whatever happens, hopefully Drew would resign with them. So, but yeah, I'm happy to see him back.
Yeah, so it looks like we were half right because we predicted that Drew was going to come back on the show, but he didn't come back in the title
Yeah,
match like I thought he would. He came back in this match, which was still cool. It still worked.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
Yes, and in our next match, we had Cody Rhodes against Dominic Mysterio.
Boy, did this one took me by surprise. It was a good match. I liked it. I like how Dominic Mysterio, the heel type, provoking Cody, and I like how he, I first got some jabs on Cody in the beginning of the match. It was typical heel stuff though, but I was surprised that Cody won the match. Was not expecting that.
And he seemed to win it pretty easily for the most part. I mean, it was competitive.
Yeah.
It was competitive for a little bit, but then the ending just kind of came, and then that was that. Like it didn't have like any drama to it or like any real like
Oh,
emotional climax to it. Yeah, like it just came. It just came, and then that was that.
I was kind of. I mean, I don't know. Like I mean, I love Cody Rhodes. I do, but I was kind of hoping that Dominic would win so it could get more heat on him. So I don't know what's gonna happen with him afterwards. Just I was surprised, but something happened the following night on Raw, which we'll get into later. Because I was expecting Lesnar to appear that night. Maybe that will cost the match, maybe. But no, it didn't happen. But something happened the following night. Again, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, so Cody ended up beating Dominic with the Crossroads, and it was fine for what it was. I also expected Brock to come back and cost him the match, but it didn't happen. So Cody won. It was nice for the crowd. It was cool. And then in our next segment, we were greeted with the surprise return of John Cena.
Yeah, was not expecting that.
Nobody was. He came out, got a nice reaction, and like it's like kind of, and he got the "Thank you, Cena" chant. And crazy, if you this was like 15, 16 years ago, it would be a whole different story. But now when you
Oh, completely.
I saw this meme online the other day where it has like a picture of a fan of that fan with the mean face like after Miz wins the title, and it says like the reaction when Cena came out in 2007, and then it shows like at the bottom the fan crying when CM Punk came out, and it says the reaction when Cena comes out now.
Yeah, that's literally me. That's literally me because we all, for the majority part, if especially if you're like an older wrestling fan, we didn't like John Cena. You know what I mean? We would always chant Cena sucks and this and
My
that.
favorite
You know what I mean?
was
And now
my favorite chant was "You're a puppet, Cena. You work for the man, Cena. Your messages are poison to children."
I don't remember that one though, but yeah, um,
That's what I would do in the crowd. When I wouldn't be in the crowd, I'd be like, "You're a puppet, Cena. You're corrupting the minds of young children for the corporations."
but yeah, I mean, it's we get it pretty much goes to show you that we appreciate things as we get older. And I've said this before. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, especially when certain things or people are gone from our lives that we're so used to seeing all the time, we're not used to that. We appreciate it more, the memories that we have when that person is gone. That's pretty much how John Cena is. And that's honestly, that's how I think when LeBron James is going to be when once he retires, because everybody, oh, they say this and that about LeBron and all that stuff. But I'm guarantee you, when I say this, Kurt, when he announces his retirement, I guarantee you everybody's going to end up missing him.
Of
Everybody.
course, goes without saying.
Yeah. But anyway, during the segment, John Cena, talking about how thankful he is and everything, but that really wasn't the whole point of why he was there. Shockingly, he started to talk about hopefully promoting bringing a WrestleMania to London. Crazy.
Yes, and I feel like I guess since
Yeah.
AEW is having that show in London next month, they kind of want to compete with them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's
But
it's
then
very
again, but then again, they're hot. But then again, they're London's been a town for WWE for years, so bringing a WrestleMania to London wouldn't be the craziest idea. It would be great, actually. I would even go.
I mean, I'm up for it too, but at the same time, it would be a little bit weird on the time zone for us here in America because that means that the show will be on at what, like 10 in the morning or something like that, or noon.
No, well, it would be like 3 in the afternoon my time, and then like 12 in the afternoon your
Yeah,
time.
noon. Yeah, that would be
So for me, it'd be like watching the WrestleManias in like the 80s.
oh, that early. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like 3, 4 in the afternoon. Yeah, that would start
Okay.
back
Yeah, I
then.
see. But it would be very early for me though, which is not the norm. But but speaking of all in for AEW and Wembley, they're selling a lot of tickets, Kurt. They're up to 74,088, 888 so far.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. But we'll get into that a little later. We'll get into that
Yeah,
later.
that's why I said I wanted to, I was sorry to get off a little topic about that, but yeah, it's because of that. The fact that not only because they're having a show out there, but the number of tickets that they're selling, Kurt, that they're almost selling out. That stadium is up to 75,000 people. You know what I mean? So because of that, it's very obvious that WWE's trying to like, okay, let's kind of shift the momentum on us now. Let's talk about bringing a WrestleMania to London. Hopefully this really is true. Hopefully they could do that for not next year though, but for 2025, hopefully.
I'm hearing 2025 it might be in Minnesota,
I heard about that too. I heard about that.
and then the year after it might be in Nashville, which I could maybe go to then if that's the case. We'd be really close.
Hopefully, I wanted them to go back to Canada, man.
Maybe one day. Let's get back to the segment. So Cena was trying to plug WrestleMania in London. The crowd was going crazy for it, obviously. And then Grayson Waller came out to interrupt this.
Yeah, it's like talking about bringing WrestleMania to Australia.
Nah, I mean Australia seems cool and all, but I don't know if I want to deal with like the wildlife and shit out there.
I just, hey, I'm
I've seen some
cool.
crazy shit online for
Me
Australia.
too.
It's no joke.
Me too, man. It's just a lot of, especially with the bugs and how big they are, man. Look outside of
Jake the Snake, Jake the Snake Roberts would fit in there fine, but I don't know about me.
oh yeah, yeah, the country part of Australia. Yeah, he will fit in perfectly. Oh yeah, oh Kurt, oh you took the words out of my mouth. Oh my goodness, he'll fit perfectly there. But no, it's not really like the ideal place that I would, like to go for a vacation. I'm hesitant, like you said, but yeah, he was
And their time
promoting.
zones and their time zones way like beyond ours. I think like when it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, it's 8 o'clock at night there.
Holy crap!
Going forward, not backwards.
Wow,
Shit is madness.
I know, but but again, not really like the ideal place for WrestleMania. Honestly, I mean, I know they had a bunch of house shows and even like I remember they had like a global warming event back in 2002 in Australia. Correct? Was it Australia?
Yeah, they had that triple threat with The Rock, Brock Lesnar, and Triple H.
Yeah,
Grayson Waller was plugging WrestleMania in Australia, and Cena wasn't having it, and then he ended up attacking Cena from behind. But then Grayson Waller obviously got cocky and thought he got the better of Cena, but he was wrong, and Cena laid his ass out with the FU. Yes, I still call it the FU, and then Cena stood in celebration
you.
to end the segment.
Yes. So it was pretty much just a promotional segment. That's all Xena was doing. I thought Randy Orton was going to come out because I just heard the news prior to Money in the Bank that Randy Orton looked like he's cleared on a comeback after doctors at first told him that I don't know if you're able to come back in the ring.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I heard something about that. I think from Kurt Angle, where he said he might get cleared like sometime this year.
Yeah. So I thought Orton was going to come back out though, but no. All it was just a promotional segment. You know what I mean? Just hopefully that will happen. I mean, I would love to see. Honestly, look, I'm not, putting Minneapolis, Minnesota down. It's a nice stadium. It really is. That's where the Minnesota Vikings play at. It is not a bad place and very ideal place to have it. But at the same time, if I had to pick me personally, I would love to see it in London.
Maybe we will one day, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's move on to the next match. We had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which featured Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, Bailey, and Io Sky.
This was a good match. I honestly kind of like this one more, a little more than the men's because of the creativity in the match.
It was definitely brutal. I will say that much. It was definitely brutal.
Oh boy, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell you what, though, I love the finish. I love the finish.
That Canadian destroyer that Zelina did to Zoe Stark from from the top of the ladder to the bottom of the ladders. Holy shit, man!
Oh,
Ooh, that
brutal.
had to suck. That had to suck to be a part of that. I mean, feel it. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Just in general, to be a part of it, or just looking at it was just brutal, man. And yeah, like you're right. The match was more brutal on the creativity side versus in the men's match. But I loved it. I like the match more than the men's. I love the finish.
and Trish had a really bad scar on her nose. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not notice that. No wonder, since the reason why she went back to her 2004 days wearing a mask on Raw, which we'll get into later, though. But anyway, This is the first time Trish was in a ladder match. So, and I was happy that she was still able to, hold her own and do what she was able to do for the first time in that kind of environment, though. But that was good for her. But again, I love the finish to the match. I was right. Io Sky um, is your women's Money in the Bank women's winner. I love the finish. How so Bailey had handcuffs and she attached them to to Becky. They're both were like handcuffed and they were like both like tied.
Yeah, what happened was like, yeah, Bailey had the handcuffs and she was trying to use them, and then all of a sudden, Io Sky, who actually got pushed off the ladder by Bailey earlier, which I kind of predicted something like that would happen, but yeah, she did that, and I knew that she was gonna probably have to pay for it at some point. And then what happened was Bailey had the handcuffs, so she was gonna use them on Becky, and then Io handcuffed Bailey and Becky in between the ladder, so they couldn't like climb up past a certain point. So that allowed Io to climb the ladder, grab the briefcase, and be the 2023 Women's Money in the Bank winner. And I liked the reaction at the end. I liked the reaction. She looked like a person's face when they won the lottery,
Yeah,
or if they won like the grand prize on a game show.
yeah. On the Price is Right, and I love
Shit.
the look on Bailey's and Becky's face, that little that disappointment look as they're still their hands were still like handcuffed. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I wonder how they got them out of there, or if they just had to like walk to the back with the ladder attached to them.
Oh my god!
They didn't
I
show
can
it, so I
ask
don't
James.
know.
Well, hey, I have my evidence. All I have to do is just hit up my friend James, who was there at the event, and he'll give me the answers.
Yes, but Io Sky is the women's Money in the Bank winner. I was happy for her. It was a great moment, and who knows when she will cash in? It will be definitely interesting to see when it does happen.
Oh yeah.
All right, so moving on, we had the World Heavyweight title match featuring Seth Rollins defending the title against Finn Balor. 7 years in the making.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a decent match. Great match, good match. Man, I was wrong, but you were right, Kurt. Yeah, I was surprised that Damian Priest showed up, and when he showed up, I just knew like, yeah, this is not going to turn out well.
Yeah, Damian Priest came out with the briefcase, and there was one point where Finn Balor was going to do the stomp from the top rope, but as he was about to do it, Damian Priest was acting like he was going to cash it in, and then that distracted Finn, and Finn was like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing?" And then that ended up
Right?
causing Finn to fall off the top rope, and that allowed Rollins to hit him with a curb stomp, get the pin, and retain the title.
Oh man, oh, you just oh, telling you, man, dissensions and Judgment Day is creeping, showing.
Yeah, big time, especially the fact that they got into the argument after the match, and also everything that happened on Raw Monday.
Oh man, you really thought Finn Balor had it though, but I mean, just boy, I just knew when Damien came out, he was teasing to cash it in, but I just knew it wasn't going to end well.
Yes, and it did not end well for Finn Balor as he lost his opportunity, which I predicted. I knew it would be a good match despite everything, but at the end of the day, I knew the outcome wasn't in any doubt, and I was right.
Yeah,
But like I said, the main story was what happened at the end when Damien came out and that all that stuff went down. So that's going to be something to keep watching for, and we'll get into that later. But on to the main event of the show, as we had the Bloodline Civil War with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa against the Usos.
yes. Oh boy, man! Oh my God, was this an amazing match? I need to rewatch the match again. I tell you that for sure.
Yeah, it was a good match. It had a great pace. I like the chant that they were saying where they were saying "We all hate Roman." I think at one point.
Roman even told Paul Heyman, "I don't like this London crowd."
We don't like that you haven't defended the title in 3 months, so shut up.
Oh my God! But I tell you what, though, we definitely love the outcome.
Yes, and the way the match ended is there was one point where Roman and Solo laid out both Usos, and then Roman was gonna pin them both at the same time, the same way he did to Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania, but the Usos kicked out.
Yeah, surprisingly, was not expecting that.
Yeah, you kind of figured deep down it would happen that way, but when they kicked out, you're like, oh shit, they may have a shot.
Yeah,
And then the match
yep.
progresses, and then Solo has Jimmy laid out on the announce table outside, and he's about to splash him on it, but then Jimmy moves out of the way, and Solo crashes down into it himself.
I knew that was gonna happen. I
Yep.
hate to say it, but I knew it was gonna happen.
And then Roman inside the ring eventually hit Jay with the spear, and he was about to pin him, but as Jay was kicking out, he low blowed Roman.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm quite sure some maybe didn't catch that though, but I caught that
That was
immediately.
that was reminiscent
And
of when Roman did it to Jay 3 years ago in the initial feud. Yeah, I like that flashback. I like that flashback they did to that. Really on point.
yeah,
That's why this is the
yep.
best storyline in the company.
Oh, of course. And it's one of the best storylines in the history of the company. So yeah,
And then Jimmy and Jay lay out Roman with double super kicks, and then Jimmy tags in Jay, and then Jay performs a splash from the top rope on the Roman, gets the pin, and the Usos win the match, marking the first time Roman has been pinned since TLC 2019.
and and here's another interesting fact. I did not know this until I heard about it. Crazy fact, Kurt. Jay Uso was the first person to pin Roman Reigns since Reigns has been in the WWE. That was 10 years ago, Kurt.
Oh shoot, that's crazy. Oh man.
That was 10 years ago. Jay was the first person to pin him, and now 10 years later, after not being pinned in about jeez,
Almost
I don't
four
know, since
years.
December of 2019. Yeah. And now he's like the last person to do it. And it's crazy how long it's been since he's been pinned, Kurt. In
Bro,
December of 2019, that was before the pandemic, dude.
that was before the pandemic, and that was right around the time we first started this show in the first place.
Yeah.
We used to record it on our phones.
Yes.
Shit, how times have changed.
Oh my god, dude, that was the last time he was pinned.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
Oh,
I have mixed feelings about this. Like it was a great moment and everything. I'm happy the Usos won that way and all. But a part of me is kind of disappointed that Roman's like first pin like that wasn't in a match where he would be losing the title.
um, I get what you're saying though, but you got to remember, look, let's just get this down the line. Roman's not going to be losing a title anytime soon. You know what I mean? We were hoping that there would have been Cody to do it, but during this time right now, moving forward, like something like that is not expected to happen. You know, either way, it had to happen. Him getting pinned, period, had to happen, regardless of him being the champion with a storyline. Like not every year is going to be like a good year for anybody. You know what I mean? And so far, I just feel like 2023 for him it's kind of been a little bit off course for Roman Reigns compared to the last 2 years that he has as champion. But I mean, sooner or later, I mean, this was bound to happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna, he is gonna eventually gonna lose the title. Hopefully, it'll be next year at next year's WrestleMania, though. But as far as him getting pinned, period, it had to happen. It had to happen.
It was a cool moment, and either way, regardless of what side of the argument you stand on, it I get it, I understand. But basically, Jay pinning Roman made sense because now this sets up Roman versus Jay for SummerSlam.
Yeah,
So in that regard, it made sense for it to happen that way. So I can't get mad at it for that. And also, it was a cool moment too. I'm sure the reaction was great in the crowd. I'm sure it was even better to be there in person. And yeah, I fucks with it. The whole show was a thumbs up. The whole show was a success from start to finish. Everything on the show had something for everyone.
it did. It really did. WWE's been doing a really good job with their pay per views this year so far.
And it's crazy. They've only had two pay per views so far this year in the States. that being Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Yeah, but the WWE will be returning to stateside for the next pay per view, which will be SummerSlam on August 5th. And so far, the card's starting to shape up, especially after what happened in Money in the Bank. We kind of have an idea now of what matches we are going to see on that Saturday night.
Crazy is going to be in Ford Field.
Ford Field, the site of WrestleMania 23 and the city of Detroit, the same site as SummerSlam 93. Not a good memory for us WWE fans, but
Oh God! Oh no! Oh boy!
the only highlight of that whole show was the whole segment between Bret Hart, Jerry Lawler, and Doink the Clown, who they did an episode about Dark Side of the Ring with a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, but other than that, that show sucked. Fuck me, did that show suck.
it did. So let's hope that this year they could rebound and have a good show.
I think they will because the card shaping up so far, from what we're seeing, is going to be Roman against Jay for the title. And also tomorrow night on SmackDown, they're going to have the trial for the Tribal Chief at Madison Square Garden.
Trial the tribal chief.
Yeah, the Usos are going to be putting Roman's ass on trial. It's going down, bro. It's going
Wow,
down.
crazy.
All right, but anyway, yes, let's get back to SummerSlam. So yeah, I'm sorry, they're gonna have the trial for the Tribal Chief tomorrow night at the Garden. Damn, and I'm getting to New York on Monday. If only I were in New York for tomorrow night. Fuck.
Shit. Yeah, you won't be there.
I've
Yeah, I'm
never,
sorry.
I've never once gone to Madison Square Garden for a WWE show that was televised. Every WWE show I've gone to has always been a house show.
Wow,
In 95, 96, and 2016, all in the summertime.
crazy.
Yeah, so we have Roman against Jay more than likely, and we're gonna probably also get Gunther against Drew McIntyre for the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's looking right now, we're gonna get Ronda against Shayna Baszler. I actually like the segment on Monday they did where like Shayna cut off Ronda like right when she was about to talk, and then Shayna said, I think I speak for everybody here when I say no one wants to hear you talk on a microphone."
Damn. Wow.
And then she just starts laying into her, saying, like, unlike you, I actually paid my dues. I set up rings and I actually care about this. You just like waltz your way into this because you're a celebrity. You could care less about this. And I'm here to take this back from you. And then yeah, she laid her ass out again.
Dang.
So now they're making Ronda out to be the villain and Shayna to be out to be the hero.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at, well, it's one of those situations where when you watch a movie and you hear the villain talk, but what the villain is saying is actually true. If you get my meaning.
Yes, I get that definitely. Like the
Yeah.
Joker in certain parts.
Yeah. Hmm.
Even like if you I watched the Breakfast Club last week, like the Judd Nelson character, like he was a sketchy ass kid and whatnot, but he had some valid points in some of the things he said. There was some truth to him.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those situations.
Yeah, I feel like Judd Nelson's character in the Breakfast Club is like what CM Punk would have been like if he was a teenager.
Oh God.
All right, but anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get into the SummerSlam card. So yeah, we have Ronda against Shayna. And as of Monday on Raw, it does look like we're probably going to get Rhea versus Raquel after all at SummerSlam, despite the fact that Raquel just won the tag titles. It looks like they're going to actually go in that direction.
Yeah, you have to do Rhea versus Raquel. You have to because they were showing signs of a feud. This was prior to the Money in the Bank, and I was like, oh my god, just please do it. And then also this will be perfect for Rhea Ripley. She has not had a suitable opponent since she's been the women's champion.
Yeah, somebody who like you legit believe was actually going to beat her because that Zelina Vega match in Puerto Rico was great. It was a great moment for Zelina, but realistically, we knew who was winning. And
True,
then the matches with Natty, although they had a good match on Raw Monday, like realistically, you knew how that was
a
going to.
better one.
Yeah, but realistically, you still knew how that was going to turn out anyway. And then after Rhea ended up winning that
Yeah,
match on Monday, she still attacked Natty afterwards, and that prompted Raquel and Liv to come out and make the save. And then you saw like Raquel staring down Rhea. So that basically gave it away for me that they're gonna do it at SummerSlam.
yeah, it was very obvious. They need the balls in their court. They need to go for it, and I believe it was going to happen. So yeah, give you got to give a spark into this, man. So I mean, if you don't do it, I mean, Rhea's tolerance is going to be a bit boring. You know what I mean? So this is perfect for the both of them, mainly for Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and it'll be good for Raquel to also be a high profile match. So we'll see how it turns out. And also we have more than likely we're gonna get a triple threat for the women's title on SmackDown, as it'll probably be Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte, especially after what happened on Friday on SmackDown, where Bianca interfered in the match and cost Charlotte the title by getting her disqualified after attacking Asuka, and then Bianca ended up lying them both out through the announce table. Or on the announce table, I'm sorry. She lied them.
Yep, told you. I told you.
Yeah, so Bianca ended up getting the ringside by buying a ticket.
I feel like that's like typical things that you do back in the day, where you're not allowed. Like, oh, I'm just gonna buy myself a ticket just so I can get in.
Yeah, I thought that show was sold out. How'd she get a ticket at the last minute?
Right? Oh wow.
I'm just playing. Yeah, but I'm happy Bianca's had a little break though. I could like tell like the last like month or so from like seeing her online, like she's actually getting to have a little bit of fun because I know that her being the champion for the last year, her schedule was all over the place,
Oh yeah, I bet. I bet. I bet.
especially
But
with that bodybuilding competition she was doing in the middle of it.
yeah, really good for Bianca. Like Bianca's actually in a you put yourself in a very good storyline for her. And again, I feel like Bianca is going to turn heel.
I just like that she has more of an edge now, and she has like more of a you know
Yeah, a little bit of mean streak going on. I love it. Not too much of this little goody two shoes baby face type of deal. I understand that you're the champion though, but now since you lost the champion, that this it really just lit a fire under her and it's given her an edge, and I love it. So the fact that they're teasing a triple threat match at SummerSlam, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And I think it's gonna have a similar outcome to that, like the Becky, Charlotte, and Carmella three-way from SummerSlam 5 years ago when Becky finally like broke out and like had enough.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Holy
It
crap.
could happen. Damn, Charlotte makes everybody turn.
Huh. That's because she's always going after the title in every match that she's in.
Well, she's always getting title shots. They always give it to her. That's why I said it's not Money in the Bank. It's Charlotte in the Bank.
Oh wow.
All right, but yes, we're probably gonna get that. We're also gonna get more than likely Austin Theory against Sheamus for the U.S. title, but I'm kind of hoping they do it with LA Knight instead. I think LA Knight would be better for that spot than Sheamus would be.
I was saying the same thing. I was saying the same thing too. That really would, you know, you go from losing a lot of matches to now you're getting one with the crowd. So I think put him in a title match would be absolutely perfect for him. But then again, let's not leave out Carlita now because they said that Carlita is going to return
Yes, it is rumored. It's
soon.
rumored that he's returning tomorrow night at the Garden.
Yeah. So and I said I would love to see Carlito in a U.S. title picture storyline with Austin Theory. So let's not leave that out. I have not left that out yet.
I'm good with either one of those scenarios. I like Sheamus. It's nothing personal, but I mean, he's already been the U.S. champion multiple times, and the LA Knight thing is really hot
Yeah,
right now. It's really popping right now, and it'll be good for him.
it'll be perfect, man. So I honestly would pick LA Knight over Sheamus, me personally.
And also, we'll more than likely get Trish against Becky finally, the rematch.
Yeah, and hopefully this will be like the ending.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Trish brought out like that protective nose gear that she used to have in '04 because she had
Yeah,
that scar on her nose during
flashbacks.
Money in the Bank. So
Flashbacks. It's
yeah, she
funny.
looks exactly the same too. She looks exactly the same. Every bit as
Yeah,
good now as back then.
I love it. I thought it was just hilarious to see her wear that mask again. I'm just like, wait. I was like, wait, is it 2004 again?
I guess she probably got that idea from Richard Hamilton.
Oh wow.
They did win the title that year.
They did. They did.
Also, we're more than likely gonna get Cody and Brock Part 3, especially after what we saw on Monday when they had the little brawl.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hopefully this will be the ending, man.
It will be. It's SummerSlam. It's the third match. They don't need to continue this feud after this.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I'm trying to think. Um,
Maybe it will be a Texas Bull Rope match, possibly.
that would be great. That would be great. Um, you know what? We don't have. We don't have a WrestleMania rematch for this event so far. I don't see any feuds that are going in that direction. Because usually, I mean, every other SummerSlam we will get a rematch from WrestleMania, but I don't think honestly we're going to be getting that.
Like, yeah, there's no matches I could see going in that direction. I mean, we're not going to get Cody and Roman probably until WrestleMania next year.
Right?
Maybe Ray and Dominic, but it doesn't seem like they're going in that direction. I think they're going to have Dominic involved in the whole Judgment Day thing.
Yeah. But it doesn't really make any sense to go back to Dominic and Ray, honestly.
I think they might go back to it at some point. We'll see, but Cody and Brock should be fine. I don't mind it for the third and final time. And after on Raw Monday, when Finn Balor interrupted a match between Seth Rollins and Dominic and caused a disqualification, that caused further issues between him and Damian Priest, causing an argument between the two of them. And that allowed Seth Rollins to hit Dominic with a pedigree outside the ring as he escaped. And the show went off the air with Judgment Day all falling into turmoil.
Boy, boy, boy. First the bloodline, now the Judgment Day. Oh, boy. And this is mainly between Finn and Damian Priest.
Yeah, it's getting ugly between the two of them. And I feel like now, with how that ended on Monday, I think the match at SummerSlam will be Seth against Finn in a rematch. And maybe like Dominic and Damian are also involved. I'm not sure how they're going to play it out, but I know it's going to be Seth involved in the Judgment Day in some kind of form at SummerSlam, one way or another.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think Damian is on his way out of the group.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Money in the Bank winner. Being more of that standalone person wants to do his own thing. Um, Dominic and Rhea's gonna they're gonna be together. They're gonna end up leaving too, but they're still gonna be together as like that as like a power couple. So as for Finn, I there's no telling what's gonna happen. I think you're gonna split after the summer.
Yeah, more than likely. I think yes, SummerSlam will probably be the end of Judgment Day or the further crumblings of it, but only time will tell. And also after Monday on Raw, it's kind of starting to seem like we're gonna get Logan Paul against Ricochet.
Really?
Yeah, because Ricochet called him out for Raw this coming Monday, like in a promo backstage. And so yeah, it looks like we may get that match at SummerSlam, especially after what happened at the pay per view and also that spot they had at the Royal Rumble together. I could see it happening.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Fuck it, why not?
Interesting. Interesting.
And also maybe Io Sky against Bailey. I could see that probably going down.
Oh yeah, since both were part of Damage Control, and yeah.
Yeah, and after what happened to Money in the Bank, yeah, and now that Io has the briefcase, yeah, I think it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. I told you. I've been telling you for months.
Oh no, no, no! I'm not surprised. I mean, I saw this coming too. So
Yeah, it is what it is. But let's also send our condolences to the family of Darren Drozdov, who passed away this past Friday at 54 years old.
yes, yes. Rest in peace, man. Oh my God. I'll never forget what happened. When did he get hurt? What year was it? Was it '99 or was it 2000?
He got hurt in '99. It was October of '99. It was during a SmackDown taping. It was him and D'Lo Brown, and D'Lo Brown was about to do the running power bomb, but he couldn't get him upright. And I think the ring was slippery, and then it caused a slip, and that caused D'Lo to drop Drozdov on his head, and that broke vertebrae in his neck, and that caused him to be quadriplegic and basically paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, and oh my God, I'll never forget that moment. A very sad moment, and
It's
I had
never
a
been
heart.
released. It's never been released. The footage of it never got released. Actually remember that SmackDown. They like put in a random match between Big Boss Man and Big Show that was like looked like it had been taped beforehand, like on like a Sunday Night Heat or something. And then they during that match put in the commentary that Droz got hurt and that they send their condolences to his family. I'm like, oh shit, that happened. And yeah, they never showed footage of it, but the only footage you do ever see of it is in that WWE Don't Try This at Home PSA they had a couple years ago, where you see like a guy getting put on a stretcher on SmackDown, where you see him like lifting him up from it. That's the only footage of that
Uh,
match that's been released.
wow, wow.
You know which clip I'm talking about, right?
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad it ended that way. I remember, like, yeah, he's mainly known for that. Unfortunately, he's also known for being a part of LOD 2000. That was his initial introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was basically used in a sense to like replace Hawk because Hawk's problems were getting bad or whatever. was going on at the time. So they were like using him as like kind of like the person like to try to like weed Hawk out. And there was that one infamous moment on Raw when like he shoved Hawk off of the top of the Titantron. Yeah, you remember that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 That was crazy.
And he was briefly with Prince Albert for a while. They actually complimented each other well, the two of them.
I like his theme song. I tell you that though.
Yeah, and also he's also mainly remembered for that scene in Beyond the Mat where Vince McMahon makes him puke on command. He's like, he's gonna puke, he's gonna puke, he's gonna puke. That shit,
Yeah, I remember that.
crazy. He was a football player too.
Yeah, I was about to mention that too.
Yeah, and the Rock also put out a tweet, sending his condolences, saying how him and Draz actually used to be cool and they used to have like nice conversations and they got along well. Yeah, it's very sad what happened to him, but in all honesty, to his credit, he had kept a good attitude about it.
He did, and he forgave D'Lo. He told him, "Hey, look, don't feel bad or anything like that." Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate for D'Lo Brown to be in that situation, but yeah, Draz never held it against him because he knew it was an accident.
Yeah,
And rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family and friends in this rough time.
amen.
And briefly, let's get into some AEW news. AEW Collision's ratings basically cut in half compared to the first episode, as they only scored 400,000 viewers this past Saturday.
Mm.
I have to say, look, I'm not crazy about the time slot. I think the time slot isn't a good look, but to their credit, the show is very enjoyable. And in all honesty, I feel like people are putting like too much emphasis on this whole ratings thing. And as long as the show is good and as long as you enjoy the show, that should really be all that matters.
Yeah, especially for a Saturday.
Like I said, I'm not crazy about the time slot. I wish it were on another night, but I've enjoyed the episodes I've watched so far. I didn't see last Saturdays because it was on.
I I saw bits and pieces of it from last Saturday. The tournament's still going on, and I'm loving the feud right now going on between CM Punk and Samoa Joe. I love it. So
They're gonna face in the semifinals this Saturday.
yes,
I could see Punk winning the whole tournament. Actually, it's a very strong possibility.
that would be good for him since he's coming back. Start off your comeback in the right way.
Yes, definitely. So we'll see how that tournament pans out. I was happy to see Ruby Soho beat Britt Baker to advance last night. That was pretty
I
cool.
saw that last night too. I was shocked. I thought Britt Baker was gonna win, but yeah, Ruby Soho won. I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that though, but good for her.
Yeah, she had a lot of outside help from Soraya and Tony Storm, but it was what it was. But it's fitting because Britt Baker beat her in the title match at Arthur Ashe a couple years ago, and then beat her in the finals of last year's Owen Hart tournament. So it was fitting that Ruby got her win back, and I'm glad it happened.
Gotcha.
I could see her going all the way to the finals, actually.
Okay.
And then also, we had a great tag match on Dynamite last night, actually, between Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy against Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. It was a fun ass match, which Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland lost because obviously they have dissension. They don't get along, but they were put in as a team anyway. And there was like two different times where Swerve hit him by mistake, and then he just laughed it off and didn't care.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a good heel. He's a good ass heel. Swerve Strickland is a good ass heel.
What in the world was with the birthday celebration for Adam Cole from MJF?
They're an odd couple tag team now. They're being forced to team up in this tag tournament. So
Good God.
MJF is basically trying to pretend to be his friend, like pretend to be cool with him.
Oh, just great. Oh my God. This is too funny.
This isn't like when Triple H tried to do it with Eugene. I think Adam Cole knows what's up.
I know. I like it though. I just thought it was like it's the weirdest thing though, but it's the funniest thing. It's just like they're like, wait, they're forced to be a tag team. I'm like, huh? What's going on?
I know where this is going to lead to. They're eventually going to split up and they're going to face each other at either the Wembley Stadium show or All Out the next week in Chicago.
I think you need to wait for the All Out show.
Possibly. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Sorry, All In. Yeah, you need to wait for that one. Just that would be a huge draw for that crowd. That would perfect.
Also, we have Blood and Guts coming up on July 20th. I'm sorry, July 19th. And it'll be in Boston.
Hmm.
And it's going to be the Elites against Blackpool Combat Club.
Okay.
Should be fun, bro. Yeah, the second time in a year, second time in less than a year, freaking Boston's getting a War Games match. They got it at Survivor Series last year too.
Sure. Oh yeah, I forgot it was in Boston last year. Yeah.
It's so more than likely the Adam Cole and the MJF thing is going to lead to them splitting up. But I think Adam Cole's probably going to turn on MJF before MJF can turn
Oh,
on
true.
him.
Yeah, this is not this chess, not checkers. Adam Cole knows he's
Yeah.
not being fooled. Come on now. Yeah.
And Jungle Boy isn't a bad heel so far. So far, he's been pulling it off. Actually, in his outfit last week, he looked just like his dad.
Exactly. I love it. The seriousness in that guy.
I'm not gonna lie. On 90210, I didn't care for his dad's character on the show. Yeah, he got on my nerves sometimes. Yeah, he really got on my nerves sometimes. To be honest,
Yeah.
that's one of the three shows that put Fox on the map. It was 90210, Married with Children, and The Simpsons.
Got you. Hmm. Would
But
you
yes,
put
let's
In
get in.
Living Color on the list too? Maybe.
Yeah, you could throw that in there also. In Living Color
And
and also
Martin.
Martin. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll put
Martin.
those
Yeah.
five in Living Color and also Martin.
I forgot. In Living Single came on Fox too, right?
Yeah, that was a little while after, but I would say like if I had to like rank it to like a top five, those would be it.
Okay.
All right, but let's get into some anniversaries real fast. Unfortunately, July 4th has been a sad anniversary for wrestling, as there have been like three major tragic events that have happened on this day regarding wrestling. And one of those took place 35 years ago on July 4th, 1988. We had the death of Adrian Adonis in a car accident.
Damn, dude. 4th of July, and this is you said it's the year after WrestleMania 3. Crazy.
Yes, the year after WrestleMania 3. And Adrian Adonis' story is going to be told on the next episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which drops this Tuesday.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Hogan was apparently really close with him, actually. I've always heard Hogan talk about him.
Hmm.
And he was also tag team partners with Jesse Ventura.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and he was like a real like known tough guy and like really like dude you would want to fuck with. So like when he came to
Right.
WWE and they put him in that adorable Adrian Adonis gimmick, a lot of people like thought it was like Vince fucking with him.
Oh wow.
'Cause you remember that gimmick? I know it was like kind of before our time, but you remember that gimmick, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah, like before Goldust, there was that.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that episode. But yeah, unfortunately, he passed away on that day, and yeah, he left behind a family also.
Damn.
And then 2 years later, on July 4th, 1990, we had the parasailing accident of Brutus the Barber Beefcake, in which his
Crap.
whole face was crushed during that accident, which required like a crazy ass operations to like reconstruct his face. And as a result of this, he didn't wrestle for like almost 3 years.
Damn. Like what happened exactly?
I don't remember the story by heart, but I remember like this girl was taking off on a parasail and she was like right in front of him, and then the person like drove off too fast, and when they drove off so fast, the girl's like knees hit his face like really hard, really fast.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what happened. I watched this like video of like the top 10 things that make SummerSlam 90 important, and they talk about that
Hmm.
because there was the rumor that that year Beefcake was supposed to be perfect for the IC title, but then because of that they ended up replacing him with
Oh,
Texas Tornado.
okay. I see. I see.
Yeah, there were two separate times Beefcake was supposed to get the IC title at SummerSlam. He was supposed to get it in '88, but then they gave it to Warrior instead, and he was supposed to get it this year, but then this accident happened.
Damn, sucks.
Yeah, and he was a hot character. I mean, for whatever you want to think about his gimmick and whatnot, and
You
how
know, especially despite with his little talk show, the barbershop. Yeah, he was.
no, but before that, I'm talking about like '88, '89. Yo, Beefcake was popping, man.
I know.
You could say what you want about that gimmick being goofy and corny, but yo, he got hot reactions from that crowd.
Oh yeah, that I know. That's why I said. I mean, outside of him, the barbershop. I mean, there was like a lot of infamous moments from that show though. But like, yeah, he had very good popularity in the ring though.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that accident happened, and although he still wrestled for a few more years, mainly in WCW, he was just never as hot again after that.
Oh man,
Yeah, and also on July 4th, 1994, we had the tragic death of referee Joey Morella, also in a car accident.
damn, Gorilla Monsoon's son, crazy dude.
Yes, on the New Jersey
Oh,
Turnpike, he actually got into a car accident after he fell asleep on the road, and actually Harvey
oh,
Whittleman was in the car with him.
are you serious?
Yeah, Harvey Whippleman was in the car with him. He survived, although he was injured. But yeah, Joey Morella unfortunately did not survive.
Damn.
Yeah, he was a high profile referee. I remember like back in that 80s, early 90s period. Yeah, you saw him in a lot of marquee matches.
Yeah, I did notice that.
The two most famous ones being Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3 and Bret and Bulldog at SummerSlam 92.
Oh wow, I didn't really realize he was the ref for that particular match.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, very sad, man. Only 31 years old, too.
Damn.
Yeah, and also I heard Gorilla Monsoon was never the same after that, too.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that years ago. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, too bad, man. May he rest in peace as well as Adrian Adonis. It's unfortunate, yeah, crazy. Both of them died on 4th of July in car accidents.
Wow.
Yeah, it's too bad, man. And also, yeah, and freaking, yeah, we talked about Junkyard Dog last week. That's the same way he went out, too. And I also heard
Crazy.
that after that accident happened, they made a ruling that, like if employees had to work late, they had to check into a hotel and they had to travel with somebody at all times.
Oh really?
Yeah, because of that.
Well, that's good. That's good though.
Yeah, definitely. But there were some other wrestling related anniversaries that weren't so tragic that did take place on July 4th. And one of them took place on July 4th, 1987, as we had the very first War Games match.
Oh,
In my neck of the woods, Atlanta, Georgia, at the Omni.
pretty much for all the W. That's like a breeding ground for WCW.
Well, NWA at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny, Dusty Rhodes actually said he got the idea for this match from the movie Mad Max.
Oh, interesting.
And this basically was because of his feud with the Four Horsemen. So they did this match where it would be Dusty, Nikita Koloff, the Road Warriors, and Paul Ellering against the Four Horsemen
Hmm.
of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Lex Luger, and JJ Dillon. They had the freaking
Oh
managers in the
wow.
match too. Crazy. They had the managers in the match.
Crazy, 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 crazy. Wow. Who would ever think the match would be involved?
Yeah, it's crazy. The very first War Games match and the very first Survivor Series both took place in the same year.
Dang.
One person from each team would start the match, and then every 5 minutes, a different person from each team would come in until everybody got in. And then once it would be that way, it would be called the match beyond. And the only way to win is to make somebody from the other team submit. And that person they made submit was JJ Dillon after he had his shoulder separated following a doomsday device by Hawk and Animal. And after that, it was a wrap. He gave up, and that allowed Dusty's team to win.
Damn.
Yeah, but it was fun, man. You should watch it on online if you ever get the chance to. It has been better War Games matches since, but
Okay.
it was good. It was a good one to set the tone.
For the first one, yeah,
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
actually voted feud of the year that year in '87. Was the Dusty team from that War Games match against the Ric Flair team from that War Games match.
Nice.
And also on July 4th of '93, 30 years ago, actually, we had the Superstars and Stripes Challenge, in which all these different athletes and superstars were seeing if they could body slam Yokozuna, and none of them could get the job done. But then all of a sudden, via a
Boy.
helicopter, Lex Luger shows up, who had previously been playing a heel narcissist character, but now all of a sudden he's like in a red, white, and blue outfit, and everybody's cheering him on. He stands face to face with Yokozuna, takes his shirt off, and then he hits Yoko with a forearm, and then body slams him, and the rest was history.
Dang. Can't believe that was 30 years ago.
Crazy. And that would also spark the Lex Express, in which Lex Luger would be driving across the country in a bus throughout that whole summer, which would lead to his match with Yoko at SummerSlam '93. But the less we say about that one, the better.
Yeah, thank you. Oh man.
Crazy. Coming full circle. 30 years later, they're
What do
coming
you,
back to Detroit.
yeah, and let me ask you something. Buy or sell WrestleMania 9 or SummerSlam 93?
WrestleMania 9. WrestleMania 9.
Okay.
All right, but in any event, yeah, I mean, say what you want about Luger's run afterwards, but that moment when he did body slam Yokozuna was cool.
I mean, it was though, and it was a good change for the character too, though, because again, Lex Luger was a heel, and
Well, not really. Yeah, she should
what?
have stayed as a narcissist character. I think the main reason why they did this is because they knew Hogan was leaving, so they wanted to find somebody to replace him.
I mean, they had Bret Hart though, but at the same time, I mean, they didn't really just run. They didn't really like, run the ball with him yet at that time again.
They wanted somebody who more resembled Hogan, like with the look.
Yeah, yeah. They see WWE at that time still they were still trying to adjust to moving away from the big, strong physique top stars wrestlers at the time. You know what I mean?
It wasn't just that; it was that, and they were just still stuck in the '80s way of doing things and those '80s
Yeah,
whack ass gimmicks. They were
yeah,
really
yeah.
behind the times in '93, and like I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
They
That was
were.
hands down one of their worst years. '93 WWE is some hard shit to watch.
Yep. This compare this to 2007 as well. Yep.
But one year that wasn't so bad to watch was 2005, and that takes us to our next anniversary. As on that July 4th episode of Raw, we had a tag team match in which was Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan against Kurt Angle and Carlito. And after Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan won the match, they're celebrating. And as Hulk Hogan's celebrating, he turns around and Shawn Michaels greets him with a super kick and
Boom.
lays his ass the fuck out.
Crazy moment. One of the shocking moments in of Raw during the Ruthless Aggression era. Just was not expecting that. Just wow.
And that would start Shawn Michaels' great heel turn that would go on throughout that summer that would lead to Shawn and Hogan's match at SummerSlam. And say what you
Yep.
want about how the match turned out, but that night when Shawn turned on him and everything that followed it in the feud leading up, I enjoyed. I thoroughly
I
enjoyed.
loved it, especially the episode in Montreal. Loved it.
Yeah.
A
And you didn't see
short
this coming.
little
You didn't see Shawn turning coming. Nobody saw that shit coming.
no, nobody.
I like how it happened. And even though we only had heel Shawn back for a few weeks, it was some good shit.
It was like will never forget the episode in Montreal where he teased Bret Hart, returning, but it was all like a ruse. But I thought it was just so funny to see that though.
Yes. And let's get into two more anniversaries before we get out of here. One of those took place 26 years ago today on July 6th, 1997. We had the Canadian Stampede pay per view taking place from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
I need to watch that show. I watched the last match. It was a crazy match. Just what was crazy is that the crowd. I mean, it really wasn't a surprise though, but the crowd was heavily behind the Hart Foundation. Heavily.
Goes without saying, bro, they're in their hometown, their home country.
Yeah,
And that America versus Canada feud had been going on for a few months now, and this is going to be like the first major show in Canada. So it was going to be interesting to see how the crowd was going to react compared to like the other shows. And
true,
damn, was it
true.
a big difference! Damn, was it a big difference!
Hmm.
It was so weird, like seeing Austin get booed and the Road Warriors get booed and Ken Shamrock getting
Yep,
booed and Goldust, and then
yep.
all the Hart family members who had been heels in the states and getting booed out of the building. When they all came out, they were all treated like rock stars. Like you could literally feel the building shake when Brett came out. That shit was fucking bonkers.
Well, this is very similar to Rocky and Drago and Rocky Four. Drago gets booed.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually documented this match like during the Wrestling with Shadows documentary. And one thing I liked about it was like Bret Hart's like talking with Pat Patterson backstage and like about how the match is gonna go, and they're talking about like each spot they're gonna do in the match. And as they're talking about it, you can hear their voices and they're playing the match as each spot is going on, and you're like, damn, Pat Patterson like really knows his shit.
Yep.
He's gonna be like, yeah, Bruce is gonna throw a drink at Austin, and then Austin's gonna think it's Stu who did it, so he tries to hit Stu, and then him and Bruce get into a little scuffle, and then Owen rolls him up. Yeah, he's like breaking it down from detail to detail.
Dang.
Yeah, but that match was wild, man. It was wild. It was fun, and yeah, one of the highlights of WWE in '97.
It
Definitely
was.
one of the reasons why that year was one of their best years,
Hmm.
bar none. When I tell you how fun that summer was and how great that summer was, bro, I do not exaggerate.
Oh no, I don't blame you. I mean, it was a hot summer, and especially with
I
SummerSlam
mean,
later on, the month later. Oh boy.
yeah, that's why I was so eager. Like after this, I'm like, oh shit, SummerSlam's next month, and I'm gonna be there. Fuck yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I gotta say, '97 is my favorite year of the '90s. That's my favorite year of the '90s
For wrestling or just in general.
for wrestling and just in general, both.
Okay. Trying to. What was a favorite year of mine? And I think 90. It's between 98 and 99 were like my one of my two favorite years in the 90s.
I get it. 98 was fun. 99 still had its fun stuff, but I think I got too out of control for its own good and not just
Well,
WWE.
I'm not talking. Well, I mean, outside of the wrestling, I'm talking about like just in general.
I get it because like if you watch that Woodstock 99 documentary, you're like, holy shit. It wasn't just WWE that was out of control in 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, woof, woof. Music festivals seem like fun. I went to one of my. I was in Israel. I look forward to going to the next one. But if it's anything like Woodstock '99, I am staying my ass home.
Yeah, look, I mean, it looks like it just looks chaotic and crazy with all those people out there, man. Boy,
But
oh,
great acts they had there. They had DMX. They had James Brown. James Brown was there. They had freaking Limp Bizkit. They had Red Hot Chili Peppers.
yep,
Wyclef.
damn.
It was fucked up when Rosie Perez came out. Everyone started chanting "Show your tits."
Oh wow,
Yeah, that's what the shit they were dealing with back then. They actually blamed a big part of the crowd getting rowdy and crazy actually on Fred Durst.
are you serious?
Yeah, they think because of his music and how rowdy his performance got, that's the reason why the crowd went so crazy and like it got worse. But it's like, bro, that's what they came to see. That they came to see Limp Bizkit be Limp Bizkit. What the fuck were you expecting?
Hmm.
It's like going to a strip club and getting mad that the stripper takes her clothes off. But yeah, that Canadian Stampede show was wild. The rest of the show is still good too, aside from the main event, although the main event is the highlight. And it was actually voted the best wrestling event of the year in the Wrestling Observer.
Oh wow,
Yeah, big
definitely
time.
got. I gotta check that out.
I think I'm gonna watch it when we get off. Yeah, I think I will. I was actually watching Terminator 2 yesterday for the anniversary
Oh yeah, that came out during that weekend.
in '91. Yeah, July of '91.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, what a good ass movie, bro. Not even just a good action movie, but just a good movie. Period.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sad ending too. Kind of a bittersweet ending.
It was though that was sad because I was oh great. I'm like they killed the bad guy and then Arnold's like well no there's one more he got to destroy and I was like what because Arnold and um, John Connor created a very tight bond in that movie and then now all of a sudden it had to end. That was sad.
Yeah, very sad. But Linda Hamilton in that movie was like the 1991 version of a conspiracy theorist.
Dude, she's just traumatized from the first
But like, if you hear like the shit she's saying like to like a person who's like an outsider who like doesn't understand what she's talking about, you're like, the fuck?
one.
What is this futuristic shit? Because even in that scene, because even in like one scene, like when John Connor's like talking to like Arnold about how the fact that his mom never really had a lot of boyfriends, he mentions that like she always like scares them away by like talking about all that shit, and they think she's crazy.
Dang, traumatized, dude.
Yeah, but I like with like in like the narration how she was saying how like the Terminator was like the father she had always wanted for him because like all the dudes she tried to date were like never really worthy, but like he seemed like the one dude who could like really step up to the
Yeah.
challenge.
Hmm.
Yeah, the black dude in that movie, like the black dude, like she initially tries to kill because of like the fact that like he like causes like the deaths in the future.
Hmm.
He was the same dude on a different world that Whitley leaves at the altar to go with Dwayne Wayne.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him. That's the dude that Whitley leaves at the altar. I'm like, damn. So when I watch Terminator 2, I'm like, damn. First, that shit happens to him where like he gets shot and then he has to like make himself explode. And now he gets left at the altar. Poor dude.
Damn.
All right, check out Canadian Stampede, and also one last anniversary before we get out of here. It takes us back to 25 years ago on July 6th, 1998, on an episode of Monday Nitro, also in my neck of the woods of Atlanta, Georgia.
The old Georgia Dome.
Yeah, the old Georgia Dome, which unfortunately no longer exists. We had Goldberg defeating Hollywood Hogan to become the WCW champion.
Crazy. And you know, it was so, oh my God. Look, we know, I mean, WCW during that time really wasn't that good compared to 97, though. But you could easily say that that match in that moment was easily was the best moment of 1998 for WCW. Hands down. We was not expecting to see Goldberg versus Hogan for the title on Nitro
But it
going
was
into that
announced
night.
Well, it was announced the Thursday before on Thunder. JJ Dillon made the announcement that they were going to have the match for the title. It was
Oh,
initially just going to be a match that we're going to do like after the show was off the air. But considering the fact that the Turner
hmm,
executives were going to be there that night because it was in Atlanta, Hogan wanted to do something to like really
yeah,
impress them and like really, draw a big crowd. So he wanted to, do the match for the title. And that's how they like, sold so many tickets so soon. Like even with 4 days in advance, they still packed that place. But imagine how much bigger that would have been if they did it on a pay per view.
like a Starcade.
Whatever, like whatever pay per view, but just in general, like imagine how much bigger it would have been if it had been a pay per view.
It would, yeah. Oh my God, numbers, hella numbers, and oh my goodness, just the match starts off a little bit slow and it picks up and then but just once a couple of members of MWO come out and then freaking Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone shows up and they distract them and then when once Goldberg got to speared Hogan, I'm telling you right now that crowd just went complete bonkers. He picks Hogan up for the jackhammer and dude, when he made the pinfall, it was just hectic. Like you could see debris in the rings. I noticed somebody threw like a roll of toilet paper in the ring. It was just so crazy. It was acting like as if the Falcons won the Super Bowl, bro. It was just a great moment for WCW for that year alone. That's like the best one. And it was really good for Goldberg. Just very good.
Yeah, I remember watching it that night, and when they announced the match, I'm like, okay, it's cool, we'll see what happens. But then I figured like it might be like a disqualification or something. But then when he speared Hogan, I'm like, oh shit, he might actually win. And then when he hits him with the jackhammer and pins him, I'm like, oh shit, he won,
Yup.
and he was undefeated still. He was still undefeated. I was like, fuck, he actually won the title. Holy shit! And he hadn't even been in the company
He
a year
was
yet. It hadn't even been a year yet.
no, no, he hasn't, and he was already the U.S. champion going into that night. Two things: do you think Goldberg beating Hogan for the title kind of like makes up for what happened the year prior when Sting beat Hogan for the title at Starcade? Buy or sell? I mean, which one? Goldberg winning or Sting winning?
I'm gonna say it wasn't better with Goldberg. It was better in the sense that Goldberg actually won cleanly and
Okay.
decisively. There was like no controversy or any of that bullshit. And it was also in the Georgia Dome. It was in his hometown and everything. So like that also made it great. But the thing that made it bad was despite the fact that Goldberg won and was the champion and like so popular and so hot, he was still playing second fiddle to Hogan pretty much throughout that run.
True, because what happened like later that summer? Hogan
Hell,
and
the pay per view that Sunday, Hogan was in the main event with Rodman against Malone and DDP, and yeah, Goldberg was on the
right.
undercard against Kurt Hennig, and then the next pay per view, same thing.
That's what I'm saying. And you had Jay Leno was involved with Hogan at Road Wild.
Yeah, I remember that the pay per view after, and then on Fall
Yeah,
Brawl, Goldberg wasn't even there, and Hogan was also in the main event, and then Halloween Havoc, he finally got to main event over Hogan. Like his match was the main event over Hogan, which
true.
definitely should have been considering which match was the better match. Not even close.
Yeah, not even close by a long shot. And you know, it's another thing that puzzles me afterwards,
Hmm.
especially during that year. Hogan really didn't get a rematch against Goldberg. We never saw a rematch.
Yeah, I think the reason why they didn't do a rematch is because I think the story that went on was that Hogan wasn't going to lose to him twice. Kind of like similar to the situation with Brock a few years later in '02. Yeah, Hogan would lose to him once, but he wasn't going to lose to him twice in a row.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the story I always floated around. And considering 1998 WCW and the rumors of what Hogan was like during that time, it does not surprise me.
But regardless, great moment.
Yeah, and regardless of how you felt of Goldberg's reign afterwards and like just WCW as a whole in '98, you cannot deny that Goldberg was one of the highlights of WCW that whole year and probably the best thing they had going that whole year.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, on fire. So yeah, that about wraps it up for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys enjoy SmackDown tomorrow and also Collision Saturday night.
You know what's funny? Me being off these 5 days, it does not feel like a Thursday to me. I woke up today and I was like, today's Thursday. I went back to work yesterday. It felt like a Monday. Crazy how it's tomorrow's Friday, man. But yeah,
Yeah, it feels like Thursday to me. I've been working the last 5 straight days, and I got two more left.
dang.
Yeah, it's all good. New York is right around the corner.
Man, enjoy yourself, man. You need it.
I will, and you guys need our wrestling knowledge and our wrestling takes. So always remember to tune into our show Clash with Champions. Follow us on Instagram at champ.clash. Also follow us on our individual Facebook and Instagram pages if you want to follow us and talk to us. Look up our first names, Kirk Cadet and also John Randall. And we're going to be here for a long time to come, breaking you guys off with our wrestling knowledge, wrestling takes, and everything in between. So until next time, for John Randall, this is Kirk Cadet for another edition of the Clash of the Champions. And remember, do not be an asshole in real life or social media. Have a good one, guys.